Welcome to the Cyborg Interactive podcast, where we help give a voice to creators. The people building games, making art, music, literature, pushing technology forward. I'm your host, Adrian Maggio, founder of Cyborg Interactive. Thanks for watching, or listening, depending on where you found us. We're available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you find podcasts. In this episode, I'm chatting with Richard Calleri of Angry Hammer Games, a one-man indie studio creating games inspired by the golden age of arcade gaming. We dive into the challenges and rewards of solo indie dev, explore what actually makes games fun, and spend some time geeking out over gaming nostalgia. Let's get into it. So how'd you get into game dev?
So I've been doing game development for probably about over 20 years, I'll say. If I say any more than that, I'll be older, I guess. But
longer than me.
I've been playing video games probably for a very long time. I started that I can remember on the Atari 2600.
Oh, nice.
So I grew up playing Asteroids, Space Invaders. There was a little tank game. And we even had those little wheel controller things that were hypersensitive. So I grew up playing that stuff, and I got a lot of those games from yard sales and whatnot. So I actually had a large collection. So that kind of exposed me to a lot of different games and whatever. And more and more, I just kind of wanted to make my own content as far as with it or whatnot. And it's a little weird what got me into it. Kind of a long story, but in high school, I got a calculator. It was a TI 83 Plus.
Oh.
One of those graphing calculators. Yeah, and
I had one of those.
Yeah, so my story's a little bit weird, but I never had a Game Boy. A lot of cool people had Game Boys around then. I didn't have anything like that. Still got the Game Boy, yeah. I wanted one, but I wasn't one of the cool enough kids to get one. But the calculator, I saw people have games on them. And I saw that as an avenue. I was like, wait a minute, if you can get games on there and you can make your own games, and I don't know. Do you remember the manual that came with those things?
Yeah,
it was like,
really thick manual.
I don't know what happened. Something snapped.
I think I had a TI-85 or something like that.
Yeah, they were all the same. They all ran the same basic language, was literally the basic.
Yeah. And
I don't know, something snapped in me, and I ended up reading half that book in a week, which is insane. I had nothing else better to do or something. I don't know. Yeah. But and then I just started learning to code myself. I made all these basic games and whatever, and started out with little Nibbles, the snake game, and Missile Command games like that, and started making games ever since then. Back in high school, I guess. So it's been a long road.
Yeah, I had one of those, and I was making. I think I tried making a Tetris clone. I wasn't very good at it, but I was like, "This is fun."
Yeah, it's definitely a creative aspect of it. There's a certain art as far as I think everybody starts out copying or modifying something. Maybe that's how a lot of ideas start. You have something fun, you want to twist it a little bit. So yeah.
One of my first things was there was this Lemonade game on the Apple II, and you could get into a lot of the games. You couldn't get into the source code, but this was written in BASIC. So I found out how to get into that, and I was like, "Oh, you can modify this," you know?
Yeah.
And that was fun. That was 5th grade, I think.
Yeah, and I think
a long time ago.
There's a modern game, sort of modern, called Hack and Slash, where I guess it's like an RPG where you move around. Are you familiar with this one at all? Hack and Slash. Yeah. So it's again like an RPG, except your character, they use a sword. Instead of a sword, they're using a USB stick. Okay. And they actually bonk people with a USB, bad guys with a USB stick, and it allows you to change their stats and things like that. Right. So you actually are hacking, and it actually is a really good way of teaching game programming as well, which is kind of neat. There's a wizard hat you put on, and then you can see all the area,
That's fun though. Literally hacking.
Yeah, so it's basically like turning on the debug mode and playing a game, which is kind of neat. So,
What kind of games do you make?
Yeah, so I guess a lot of the games that I make, I like to do a lot of like couch games. So I have a son who's currently 9, and I like to play games with my wife and other friends like have come over. So having grown up a lot with like the Nintendo, and the peak like Nintendo 64 era with Smash Brothers and lots of controllers, one console. I like to have a lot of Xbox controllers all plugged into one PC and everyone playing the same game at the same time in the same room. So I do. I like to make those kind of games myself. So whether it's a pirate game where you're stealing treasure from each other, or a fighter jet and you're just shooting rockets at each other, blowing a lot of chaosness and that kind of thing. Yeah. Those are the kind of games, quick games, co-op or not co-op, you're fighting each other games. That's usually what I like.
They do have the ones that I saw do have a nice vintage feel to them. Like,
yeah,
not old per se, but they have that. They have the spirit of the older games, which we grew up on basically. So
yeah,
it's refreshing to see that. Everyone's going for, the highest end 3D graphics and everything these days, and it's like. It's just, they're fun, They bring back the good memories of when we first started playing games.
Yeah,
so
and
I really appreciate that.
I think a lot of that is my influence of growing up with Atari games, and looking at the Atari games, there's something very simple to it. Like if the game, there's not a lot going on. I mean, the whole game is probably a couple kilobytes, you know. Right, yeah. So either there's something fun there or there's not, So there's a lot of the cream rises to the crop kind of thing. So like there's a lot of games where it's, you don't talk about those ever again. But some of the games are like, okay, this is a little tiny mechanic and that's fun, One of the games I made called Railgun Command basically takes like Missile Command. You got a simple projectile coming out of the top, coming down, and you want to defend it. So I made a game kind of mimicking that, where a simple projectile coming down, then it makes it a little more complicated.
Yeah.
So, I do try to copy a lot of the Atari games myself.
That's cool.
Yeah. I
think the first game I ever played was Pac-Man. Like, straight up Pac-Man on the 5200.
Yeah.
And I was just, like, amazed by it, Like, your first time seeing a video game, it's like, I can control this thing? Like, it's like...
Yeah. No, I remember being a little kid, the arcades were a big influence in my life, too.
Yeah.
And they were always kind of tall up for me, reaching up.
Yeah.
But and I remember for a long time being entertained, not by putting the quarters in, but just by pretending to play, when I was growing up. And then as soon as I had an uncle who would throw quarters at me, and I'd be like, no, I'm fine just without the quarters. And as soon as he gave me quarters, then I needed the quarters. And then of course back then those machines were the first pay to win concept kind of thing.
So the games that you make, how do you go about? Do you use an engine? Do you roll your own?
Yeah, I know people that really make their own engines, which is wild. I've programmed in BASIC, Visual Basic, C, C++, Java, and the one that I kind of been sticking through for about almost 10 years now, maybe, is a Game Maker.
Oh, okay.
So I love Game Maker. The language is very similar to like a C++, Java kind of thing. So it's very object-oriented in the sense. Literally, you're programming objects. It's mostly 2D based, and I tell a lot of people to really kind of, from an indie perspective, kind of what you were talking about. I think there's a lot of success still in the 2D world. Everyone's jumping into Unity or Unreal, and Unreal Engine is always pushing the envelope as far as technology and performance, but... Yeah. I hear a lot of mixed things. Like they don't always take care of their last edition. They're always pushing the next gen, and you kind of got to program around the bugs a lot of times. But Game Maker is very solid. They do 2D system. Everything's well documented and whatnot, and I love it a lot myself. It's easy to learn. They do have 2 different methods: a drag and drop method, and or D&D they call it. I think it is. But their language is GML. Which sounds a little fancy, but it's a game maker language. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking Google markup language or whatever.
Something fancy, yeah.
Whatever that Google Maps thing uses.
Yes, yeah. No, it's game maker.
I was like, wait, I've done GML. Wait, I don't think it's the same thing.
But it really is a great language, though. It has some advanced features, has some low-end features or whatever, but and most people that program in anything can just pick it up super fast. Like I said, it's basically like if you program in C++ or Java, it's like those, but a lot easier rather than annoying. Like, oh, you have to type void before everything you're declaring. It has a lot of kind of like Visual Basic, where the data types are, what do you call it? Like variants. So then you don't have to declare, oh, this is an integer, this is a long, whatever. You just basically declare whatever, and it just assumes.
And like the first time you use it, it becomes that. Is it that kind of thing?
Yeah. And you can even change it as you go, which can be, which can be problematic sometimes. And yeah. No, it's a great system, and I think I think it's free, so I really recommend people using it a lot. And then I think you get the full license is $100, I believe it is.
Okay.
So yeah, and it has different ways of exporting to, of course, PC, HTML5, and whatnot. But I recommend for a lot of people starting off, Game Maker is a great way. 2D, powerful engine, super easy to learn. The manual's amazing. And if you care about those things, AI integrates well with it. I don't do any AI stuff myself personally for other reasons, but they partner super well with AI because it is an easy language, and AI can just blast away at Game Maker if you need to. So
I will definitely take a look at that because it sounds interesting. I'm always up for learning new things.
Oh yeah, it's super easy. Yeah.
Also, I went to the website, and one of the first things it showed was like an asteroids type game, and I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah, they have a lot of tutorials. That's how I started, and they got me hooked on it. And there's a lot of good success games there too. I know Undertale, I think, is made in Game Maker.
Is it really?
And I believe so. And then, there's a bunch of them out there that are pretty cool. But I mean, it's a fun project. I don't know. That's what I use it. So I'm always trying to buy assets and sprites. Also, I have a large collection of sound effects, musics, and 2D art. And for that, I recommend going to Humble Bundle. I really should be affiliated with these things. But Humble Bundle is a great starting place for a lot of people. They have these giant asset packs that you can buy.
I always forget about that.
Yeah, they literally are limited deals, so different people will pitch their assets to them. And you can buy assets in bulk on itch, obviously, from different artists. And I've done that in the past as well. And there's tons and tons of, we'll call them asset stores where you can purchase music or sound effects from various developers and whatnot.
Yeah, we use a couple different ones, but I forgot about Humble Bundle.
Yeah, they're really nice because it's cheap if you don't have a lot of money, which basically is anybody nowadays. But it's kind of like buying a big bag of Lego bits at a yard sale.
Right.
So you really don't know what you're getting in there.
Yeah.
It's probably discounted. You're missing some pieces.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, the downside is when you're making a game or whatever, you need, like, say you're making a Western game, right? Mm-hmm. So I need some cowboy, art. I need some horses, maybe some horse sound effects or something. So some Western music, you know what I mean? So I need all these assets. Now, I think a larger company would just either create or purchase all of these assets as they need them. But all I've been doing is just buying big buckets of randomness stuff and then throw it in a box.
Have you ever heard of Kenny's? I think it's called?
Yeah. Kenny's, all their stuff is free, I believe.
Yeah.
I think they have some paid stuff out there to donate, whatever.
It looked like a lot of 2D stuff, like
yeah. Oh, yeah,
stuff.
Definitely. Yeah, I have a lot of 2D Kenny assets as well.
Yeah,
they're pretty notorious. They're a great starting place, but their art usually has a certain aesthetic to it. Mm-hmm. Depends on and one of the biggest things you want to do is keep your art, at least your visual art, very the same.
Right.
So you have to be careful of that. And I'm not much of an audiophile myself, but probably that too. I don't know.
Yeah. So I was going to ask, do you have anyone else you work with? Is it just you?
Yeah, that's another big tricky thing with indie development, right? So myself personally, it's just me, myself, and I. Yeah. Now, I've tried working with other developers. It's very tricky. So there's a lot of challenges. It's not just like a couple of big challenges. There's a lot of different challenges. They all have different. It's like a mountain range of issues, right? So there is, of course, the financial aspect of things. Is it a hobby? Is it paying the bills?
Right.
Are you working with someone? Are you getting paid? Are they getting paid? All those. That's one issue to think about. Is this just a passion project of yours? how passionate are you, or how passionate are they? If you guys are in line, that'd be great, but that is probably a rare thing.
Yeah.
Who's got the core original idea that wants this completed? And one of the resources outside of money is that passion, energy.
Yep.
Like, I have this great idea, and how do I make it a reality? And that is not an infinite resource. I'm always trying to think about, like, you have this big bucket. I want to make this game, and every day that you work on it actually runs out a little bit. So, and if somebody else has that energy, that's great. But it's hard to manage that. And
I have heard from other devs that even working by yourself, you can run out of that.
Yeah, it's a real energy bucket. You can't see it, of course. But,
yeah. So it's even harder keeping a whole team motivated, because at the very start, like, say you came up with the idea and you brought some other people on to work on it, you already have way more of that.
You have more of that magical juice
than they do.
Yeah.
And so they may be like, I'm bored of this. Like, this has been going on for 2 years. You know what I mean? Like,
I try to point out the invisible elephants in the room a lot, but like, it's not a great thing to say, but it just is what it is. Ideas are kind of worthless. I say that a lot. So action applied to those ideas is what's actually something. So I have an idea for a great game, but
it's the execution of it.
Yeah, which is sad. I bet ideas can be good, absolutely, but and you being able to communicate that to a team and make them excited about it. So usually money, of course, makes everything. Money makes everything. So that's why they go hand in hand. Yeah. So I've tried hiring artists. I'm more of a programmer. I think there's like 5 different hats for making a game. So you have to be obviously a programmer, or you should be somewhat. Right. An artist, a sound person, a manager, maybe marketing, all these things. So if it's just you have to do all those things or pay someone. I find that from a programming perspective, working with artists is probably the trickiest. Just the different mindsets is extreme. And I've gone through, I tried hiring a few artists where it just doesn't quite work out. I'm currently working with an artist on Upwork. So there's Fiverr, Upwork is one I've been doing. I've actually had good success with that so far.
Okay.
So I'm currently working artist on a current project called I Have Two Guns.
Okay.
And so far I'm making a lot of 16-bit art with that.
Nice.
And so that's been so far a success. But so far that's kind of like a 2-man project. But we'll see how that goes. I'll let you know.
Yeah. No, I'm curious how well it goes, because I had a not so fun experience on Upwork a while ago.
Oh, yeah. There's all kinds of stories, whether it's Fiverr or there's other ones out there too where it's, I don't know.
I won't go into it too much, but it involved, like, they made a bunch of stuff, bunch of 2D art, and it ended up being blatantly copied from, and this was before AI, blatantly copied from
so that's what you're paying
some
for.
Big name things. And I was like, did you just steal this? And they're like, no, we made it from scratch. I'm like, okay. And that starts a whole conflict, because they're like, we need to get paid. And it's like, I'm not paying you because this is copied. And then, it goes to arbitration and all that. And I was like, I'm done with this. I've heard good things about it, but I didn't have a good experience with it. So. Yeah.
No, I've heard that a lot. So, there is something to working with people in person. I think it really helps that. And, again, sharing that energy, you really want that invisible energy juice to be the main driving factor for us. You want them. So some kind of like market share with the goal was probably a good idea.
Yeah.
I know some people do like almost like a, I don't know, like a communist kind of system where like together we all paid at the end, or like your share is my share kind of thing. And
it's tough when there's limited or no budget,
Yeah,
it's like, all right, I want to get some people together to make something, but are you okay working for very little?
Yeah.
It's like, as a contractor,
Yeah.
That's what I've done in the past is contracting agreements, and with people that they genuinely have the passion for it and they just want to work on something. So it's like, all right, here's, what I can pay you. And then if this starts making money, then you have, it's in writing, you get a share of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I think, at least my current experience from talking to other people, I think, again, the elephant in the room people when you talk about is I think indie development, I think, works best probably if it's like a hobby perspective. So it's kind of like everybody can play, well, not everybody, but Yeah, I can play basketball in my backyard in the courts. I'm decent at it. Does that mean you're going to do the NBA full time? Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of success stories there.
Yep.
And every other week you hear massive success from indie developers, and there's moderate success as well, to pay the bills. But it does seem like, at least right now, I would recommend it for like side income, which makes it difficult. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it's just some of the reality I think people need to hear a lot.
I'm lucky right now that it's it can be on the side and it doesn't have to,
Yeah, no, there's absolutely some success.
But I definitely want it to, I would love it to get bigger and get successful.
Yeah.
So that's what we're shooting towards. But, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of artists, I have a great 3D artist right now from Hamilton College. Actually, they just graduated, but they're coming up with some great stuff for Rotten Money. So.
Oh, good. Yeah. That's what you need. You need that like.
I can't do the 3D stuff, so.
Yeah, no, I used to. Back in high school, I got really big into some of the 3D stuff, and I tried going to RIT for all that stuff as well. They had a cool program over there. I used. I have a little bit of experience in 3ds Max, Maya, and actually I got really attached to Cinema 4D.
Okay.
This is before Blender and all that fun stuff, but I've done stuff with Bryce and all that, and Poser and all those other animating tools. But yeah, again, going with the 3D barrier, there's so much more to that. And I feel like, at least from an indie developer, there's something about that uncanny valley. Like if you start making you're making a 3D game, people expect more out of it. The jumping's weird, the physics weird. And if you make a cutesy 2D thing with a really I'll say low quality art, people love it.
I know.
So no one's complaining.
I feel like you can get by with a lot more in 2D.
Yeah. We were at the event, the CNY event, and there's a game there. Guy had a fun noodle, and he was and people loved that. It was like a hand-drawn.
I played that one, yeah.
It's like no one complained about that.
I actually really liked that one.
Yeah, so...
It reminded me of the old cartoon Doug Funny. Doug.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is cool. Are you going to go more with it? And he's like, yeah, I'm getting good responses from it, so I'm going to keep going with it.
Yeah.
But I heard other people say the same thing. They're like, it's like a 90s cartoon nostalgia. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I think there's a lot of room in the 2D world. You have to think a little out of the box when you're making a game independently, and you want to stand out. It's almost like the barrier to entry is low, but also high, right? Because now there's I don't know how many games are entering.
Just indie games in general.
Yeah, how many games are entering Steam a day? Is something like 20, 30 a day or something crazy. Yeah. So you have to make something to stand out. You build on somebody else, but also different. Don't just make a platformer.
Yeah.
Make something like where you have a pool noodle, or something, or you have a USB stick and you're hacking stuff, and So.
Well, you're talking about the whole uncanny valley thing for 3D stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm deliberately, kind of tailoring our style so that we're not going super realistic, but we're also not going so cartoony. We're somewhere in between. I used the original Max Payne as a reference for the low poly. And even the way they move is following that. My 3D artist did some animations too, and I'm like, it has that it has the right feel that I'm looking for, and I hope other people like
sharp
that feel
edges.
Too. But
no what do you call it? The blending of the edges or adding more triangles.
Yeah.
What was it? What was the game? The Valve game with the crab brains.
Oh, is it Half-Life?
Half-Life. Yeah. So that kind of graphic style, I'm thinking.
Yeah. And I just like that, and I'm leaning into that.
Yeah. I mean, I remember Borderlands, and a little bit before that as well. Not cell shading. Is it? Was it shell shading, or when they first came out with the basic
I don't know.
I think it was called cell shading, where they basically purposely made it almost cartoon looking. So it was.
I know I've heard cell shading, toon shader, stuff like that.
Yeah. So.
I don't know which one is which, but
well, you look at say Borderlands 1, 2, now even the new one that came out 4 or whatever. They're not going hyper realistic, They're going with a certain type of art style, you will, and that allows them certain freedoms. I think it kind of breaks away. People aren't expecting it to look hyper realistic.
Yeah.
People look at the Halo Infinity or even the new Grand Theft Auto game, right? 6 or whatever coming out. They're going to want that to be a hyper-realistic...
If that ever comes out.
Yeah, if it comes out. Legend speaks of a game worth billions. Yeah. Cyberpunk, people wanted that to be the most amazing thing, burn your PC to the ground kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like, you know, Borderlands, like, oh yeah, no, the guy's got yellow pants, you know, and the girl's got like, you know, flaming pink hair and she's jumping around and it's craziness. And I think keeping that craziness, making it fun, or going realistic, I think it has diminishing returns and gets you more in trouble, at least from an indie developer.
Yeah. My philosophy is like fun first. Like the mechanics have to be fun, have to be playable, and then you add stuff onto that. You know, it's like
yeah. It's all about the it's really all about the experience. A lot of different feedback loops you want to keep track of. So some basic things, like even like look at Mario, when you hit the button, you know, it was doot, like his little sound effect, even just jumping.
All those things are very They trip into something in your brain, you know.
Yeah, you get the direct feed. So you want every little thing to lead to big things that are all fun, part of the experience. And
like I still, if I play like the original Mario and I hear that coin sound, it's still like
it's trigger something.
So satisfying.
Dopamine something, yeah. Yeah. You always got to make the numbers go up too. It's always fun. Yeah.
Do you go to a lot of expos, cons, like to show your stuff off?
Yeah, so I'm...
you had an impressive setup at the CNY
Expo.
Yeah. Like, I was amazed at how many games you had going there.
Yeah, I'm a little different. I've gone to a lot of expos, at least mostly in New York State. I haven't gone to any of the big fun ones out of state. I haven't gone to the is the GNC the one?
And you're from the Troy area, right?
Yeah, Albany, Colony, down that way a little bit, yeah.
So Tech Valley Game Space.
Yeah, so I'm with Tech Valley Game Space a lot. And it's fun networking and meeting with different people as far as, you know, and everyone kind of sharing like what events and groups and who you know, and going to these conventions is a great way of networking, I guess. Yeah. I don't know what you really get out of it so much as far as outside of just the networking component, but I've traveled to Rochester a lot. There's a one up in Lake George.
Yeah.
And there was one down in the city that I didn't go to. I'm a little scared about going down to the city a little too much myself. But it is great meeting people and listening to industry in New York State. And I have my games are pretty low key as far as 2D stuff. So I have an old laptop and I have an older laptop, and I let people beat on them a bunch.
And they run and they're fine.
Yeah, and I bring a whole bunch of. I used to bring wireless controllers. I thought maybe that might be a bad idea, but I have wired controllers now. And I was even selling the controllers. So I got a bunch of them on Amazon. I like to use these Xbox knockoff controllers.
Yeah,
they're like
that's what I use too.
Yeah, they're like $15. You plug them in, no driver issues.
Yep.
And so you use a 4-port hub. Boom, you're good to go. You know.
There you go.
And
wired.
Yeah, just wired. Yeah, it's just easier with the wireless issues or whatever.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of kid games. So a lot of times people bring their whole families to these events, and the kids are bored out of their mind. Like younger kids, like 6 or under usually. But they see the fun happening. So I have a lot of kids games. I have some that teach mouse controls. Okay. A lot of young kids are growing up with tablets now, so they aren't used to using a keyboard or a mouse.
Yeah.
So I have one that just shows the letters you hunt and peck.
That's cool.
That one's called Dino Crunch, and you're a dinosaur eating letters. Just stuff like that. And I have one called Apple Picker, where it looks like Hi-Yo Cheerios kind of thing, where you're a crow and you're picking apples off a tree and just putting them in the basket. I was teaching how to clicking dragging skills.
Yeah.
And the kids love that, and the parents love it because the kid's actually playing something there. So, and it's like a 20-year-old laptop, so if the kid's like jamming on it, getting a little too intense, that's
nice.
Fine.
We had I think we were at one upstate at the same time.
Okay, probably, yeah.
The last time they did it.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's when it was. I don't remember if I saw you or what. It was kind of a blur.
I know. One Upstate's a great convention too. And were you at the Lake George one in the winter?
I haven't been to any of the Lake George ones yet.
Okay, it's probably a little closer for me. I think for me it's just hour and a half or so up north. For me, it's probably more east-wise, right?
Yeah.
Probably no good way of getting there. You get a 90, then
90 and then up.
Yeah,
whatever I forget what road it is.
Yeah, that's one thing that always throws me off. I mean, I don't travel much. I'm like indoor. I live in my basement myself. And when I'm out in far in Rochester, I'm like, oh yeah, go to this local club here, and they're like, wait a minute, it's not local, is it?
Yeah.
Where am I? I'm in Syracuse now. Yeah, so. Yeah, Lake George is a little closer for me. I'm more in the middle of the state, so. But yeah, it is fun networking with various people, and I think I met CJ at the One Upstate. Okay. Then I see him at various conventions, and he helped put on the CNY event as well. And it was actually a funny story. I was talking with somebody down in a Troy convention, and it was fun. There was a power couple where husband and wife were doing something, and the guy was trying to make a video game for a little handheld device using an Arduino, which is very adventurous. Forget about programming a game software, but programming the hardware too, and getting into all that. So 3D printing your own device and then getting into retailers. I can't. Yeah, or something. Yeah,
I could see it on like a Raspberry Pi or something, but
Arduino, the Raspberry Pi. Then that would get
Arduino's impressive. If you got a game running on that.
A Pi would be probably too expensive, especially nowadays. Maybe if you had like an older Pi. But even I heard the newer ones have heat issues too. And just a basic. It was, we were talking like pixelated art kind of thing going. Just some like a little handheldy device.
That's cool.
And I said, I know this other guy who's making a fishing game like it or whatever. And so it turns out they actually knew each other, even though there was like a 200-mile gap.
Yeah,
which was kind of cool. So I like connecting people too, which is nice.
No, CJ and I started the CNY game dev community, and we just did that expo in Utica, and we're continually amazed at how many people we meet that just love making games.
Yeah,
it's like
if anything, it's a fun creative outlet. I try. I've been making games for a long time, and I've never really pushed myself as far as like selling things, getting to pay the bills kind of thing. And joining the Tech Valley game space has really helped me make more connections, seeing people that have made, either worked in the AAA industry or had success with different fields.
Yeah.
So that's kind of helped me say, hey, maybe I have all these games. I do, I can show, I'm going to show you this. See where the camera here. This is one of the things that I do. I go to conventions, and someone gave me a couple of people gave me ideas of having a little like cassette. You can buy these little plastic cassettes pretty cheap. Obviously there's no.
It's been a long time since this.
Yeah, real cassette with them. But it has a business card in it, and has a little USB stick. And you can buy these USB sticks on Amazon pretty cheap. You buy the bulk packs. I think I got a specifically picked out USB 2. For greater compatibility. Okay. I like those because certain older cars, you can just put music on them. You just plug them into that too. But all my games, because they're pretty low, or efficient, I'll say, efficient graphics. I've been able to put all my games on here and whatnot. Very nice. And so I go to conventions and I say, hey, would you like all my games? And that's what I kind of push usually for that. But
so you're selling those?
Yeah, I say I'm selling, donating. I'm kind of like make a donation pledge for people to get them. I don't sell a lot of them, obviously. Yeah. And I like to go to conventions that are like free. A few of them are like, okay, there's $100 a table. Yeah. Like farmers markets and that kind of thing, where usually most places are $100 for a vendor table. But it's hard. It's hard going to that because now I have to sell so many to make up for it, and make a profit or whatever. Yeah, that's true. Because obviously I'm not going to reach the crowd that I need to make this work. So, me personally, I'm still exploring things, but as far as from what I can tell, selling things physically is probably not the best way to do it.
It's something.
It's a life learning aspect of it.
I might pick up one of those.
Yeah. That's it. I got all my games, and I don't do any DRM either, digital rights protections or whatever. Yeah. I make games for fun. If people like it, then I say copy and paste it, share it. That's cool. So
it's easier than getting on Steam or anything like that.
Yeah,
which is what I'm going to try to dive into at some point here.
Yeah, which that's the way you got to do it. But then there's all kinds of marketing tricks. You got to make it early access and all this other stuff. And
from my research, there's a ton you have to do.
Yeah, you have to do the song and dance. And it seems like the route of the influencers, when you hate them or love them or whatever you want to say about it, influencers. But that is the way that things work nowadays. And
I just got to get somebody that has a big following to play my game on their, Instagram or whatever they're doing. And
I've been trying to make a list. So I think most of my games, I've gone to game jams and make games very fast. I think some of my games take over 2 years, so there's a big range there, right? It is important to finish your games. That is
the biggest,
huge.
That is the most important thing.
Yeah, you have to be a certain stubbornness to it. But however long it takes you to game, how do you figure out the value of it, what you want to do to sell it, all that stuff. I'm currently paying an artist, so I feel like my current project, I would need to get some kind of return on that. I buy a lot of assets off from Humble Bundle and graphics and that kind of thing. So there's some value. I've put my own money into things. I just want some of that money back for that, I guess. But it's tricky. Like I just want people having fun in the game. I'm not trying to pay the bills with it, whatever, become horribly rich or something. But yeah.
Yeah, I would say one of the most, or probably the most important thing you could do as an indie dev is finish things. Like, as they say, ship games. You know what I mean? Even if it's just finished and it doesn't go anywhere from, you at least prove to yourself that, like, you can get to the end, which is the hardest part with game dev, it feels like.
Yeah, I think we said it earlier, too, is the last 10% is 90% of the effort.
It's like the goal line keeps...
moving, yeah.
You feel like you're moving towards it, but it keeps getting further away. It's like whether that's scope creep or just things you didn't realize that how long they take,
Or all of it at once. Yeah. It can be two things. Yeah. Absolutely. And I think the more you do complete the complete process, you get slightly better at it. But no one's really good at. It's almost like the more passionate energy you have too. Like, I have so much energy for this idea. You almost underestimate how much something. Like, I'm super excited. And you hit it off hard. I always start with like the most complex mechanic of whatever I'm trying to do first.
Right.
And then once I have that complex mechanic, that I'm going to use a really cool shader. It's going to do this really kind of a cool effect or something. Then the rest of the game is going to be easy, right? Yeah. I figured out how to do the networking aspect. Everything else is going to just fall into place. Well, you're forgetting sometimes user interface and just menu navigation. And they go here and they pick some upgrades and it affects over here. And then next thing you know, it's...
Contrary to popular belief, game dev is hard.
Yeah. I tell people it's not.
And I mean, I write software for a living that's not game related.
Yeah.
And that's hard enough. But game dev is so like multidisciplinary, and if you're doing it, especially if you're doing it yourself, like you said, you're wearing 5 different hats at least.
Yeah.
It's like I can't just think of the code. I have to think of how the art fits into that, and the music, and the game the design itself.
Yeah.
Some people, that's all they do is the game design. Like in professional settings, it's like, what do? Game design. Oh, so do you program too? It's like, no, I just design it.
Yeah, I don't know
that's enough.
How do you get a job in that? How do you start with that? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're really good at maps because I mean, depending on the game, the designing aspect is entirely different. Whether you're like a D&D, Dungeons and Dragons DM or whatever, you're good at, or GM, is that you call it?
Yeah.
Whatever you design the whole scenario or whatever. If you're making a platformer, how to design the puzzles, and designing the challenge. You're making the experience. Yeah. So it's not just like making a front end or a back end for a website that this allows them to buy this and puts it in their shopping cart and then take the credit card purchases and and then they're done. That's their experience, But you want like a feelings, and you have music that sets mode, so it's.
And everything is kind of intertwined a lot with game dev.
Yeah.
And it's hard to like decouple those things, like in more traditional like programming projects, it's like, okay, this piece is totally separate from this, and they talk through this one interface, and that's it, right? With games, I heard a professional who does narrative stuff, and he was like, we're so far into the project that somebody says, okay, we're changing the dialogue between these two characters in this scene, in this level, and they're like, that should be easy, right? And he's like, that changes like so many things. He's like, let me show you what that changes. And like, if you change what this guy says, that changes this whole mission over here, which means you need a new mission mechanic over here, which then changes this over here. He's like,
butterfly effect.
That's like 3 months of work, and which equates to a lot more money. And now the artists have to change things, and the new sound needs to be recorded. It's like, and they wanted a few lines of dialogue changed, and it's like, let's discuss what what that affects. It's like.
And I guess when you're working on a team, like we talk about with teams, you have that discussion, and in some cases, it's one person. I had this idea.
Yeah.
And then the artist is like, I ain't doing that. Well, that's going to cost a lot. Or the voice person going, I can't change all this. So I guess that's when you introduce, okay, well, there's the passion bucket and then there's the financial bucket. Like, okay, we can do that, but it's going to double our budget. Okay, then that idea doesn't get introduced.
Everything gets funneled through the business decisions.
Yeah.
And,
I don't like it. It's horrible, but the money does add a single metric, I guess, to keep things even. Where the problem is being an indie developer, by yourself, you have a cool idea, you're feeling passionate about this cool idea. Oh, I'll just add this really cool bonus level. It'll be a mini game inside of my game. Okay, that mini game is going to cost you, but you don't realize that because you're kind of biased towards yourself.
Yeah,
which is kind of weird. So you have to watch out for that. Yeah.
So that's been kind of a adventure.
Yeah.
Trying to balance the passion, the design, the time frame. Like, okay, we could do all this, but it'll take 5 years. It's like, and I don't want it to take 5 years. So let's.
Yeah, and it's kind of ironic. The easiest part about making video games is programming.
Yeah, it actually is.
It seems like that's the one that scares people away the most.
Yeah.
But there's so much out there to learn. It's just it's pretty. I mean it's pretty consistent. The only problem with programming is that it's consistent, and that shouldn't bother you. It's like you do something, the computer does it. Unless you're doing Unreal. But most programming languages.
I haven't done any Unreal. I mean, I looked at it years ago.
Yeah.
And it just seemed, I don't know, too much. If that makes sense.
Well, you just look at the patch logs. Oh, this feature now works. This feature now works. Oh, what was it doing before? Don't mention that.
So we started with, actually, I started with a thing called Java Monkey Engine.
Okay.
It's a 3D. If you like Java and you want to make 3D games, it's great. It's a fully open source thing that someone made, and it's full 3D graphics in pure Java basically.
Yeah.
And I started with that, and it was fun. There was a lot of hand rolling stuff, like writing a lot of the stuff yourself, using the tools that they give you. So I don't know if it was. I guess it's a full engine, and maybe I wasn't using it right at the time. There was probably stuff that was there that I just didn't see.
Yeah, it is tricky whether learning certain languages, learning certain engines, making your own engines. It's it probably does matter a lot. In some ways, it also doesn't matter, if that makes any sense. But
so I played around with making a voxel world,
Okay, yeah.
Generated,
those are awesome, yeah.
But not like blocks like Minecraft. Like I was doing the whole ISO surface generation
every little pixel.
It would take what would normally be a block, and it would figure out where the polygons need to be to make it a smooth surface.
Oh wow.
But it did the whole like chunking, how Minecraft does, like it loads chunks in and unloads them when you're out of the area. That whole thing. Yeah. Infinite terrain. It worked, but it was so incredibly inefficient.
Oh, I was saying that's the best part about it. Yeah,
it was
anybody can code that, but code it well.
If you move too fast, you were there before the chunk loaded, and so you would just fall through the floor. But it was just, for me, it was like a proof of concept for, can I do this? Like it's actually generating terrain, And I played around with that for years, and then I used this thing called libgdx, which is a Java framework. It's not really a full engine.
Yeah.
And did some 2D mobile stuff with that. But you had to write, you had to do so much yourself, and now we use Godot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good.
And there's so much stuff built into that.
It's growing so fast. I think it's growing in the right direction. Pretty good, though, yeah.
You still write tons of code, but there's hey, I need a character controller for this 2D or 3D character.
Yeah.
It's right here. Drag it in. Yeah. And then write your custom code to go with it.
Yeah.
As opposed to back when I was doing the other stuff, I had to write that all from scratch.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, it's been 3 months. I finally have a character that can walk around.
Yeah.
And now I'm so burnt out. Yeah. I forgot what the rest of my game was about.
Again, you have this bucket, and it runs out. It is a quantitative asset. It isn't infinite. I think that's one thing that helps me when I'm working on my games, and is realizing there's certain times where just the bucket's running low, and I don't know. There are some projects where I've abandoned. Like, listen, the bucket's too low. I want to because almost what happens 6 months in, it starts running low. Usually 3 months, you can get some kind of like what I call like an alpha version. Something's there, but the 6 month line, it's like I'm trucking through. This should have been done already. What's going on? And I'm like, well, I got this other idea. I could start that. You know.
There you go.
So that's why I always say that the 2D, it's just very quick getting something to move on the screen and focus on the feedback loops. But have you done anything with the? Again, I know I'm a little bit older, but there's a gigantic wave that's hard to ignore, like Roblox and Minecraft and all that. So there's a younger generation loving Roblox, and there's all kinds of developers and whatnot over there. I haven't done any Roblox developing stuff. Do you know anyone who does Roblox developing?
I recently installed Roblox and started playing around with it.
Sorry to hear that.
I don't know what I'm doing yet with it, but that's what I hear is that it's a big thing. So I'm like, let me see if I can do something with this. At least try it out. Yeah,
it's this gigantic tidal wave, or tsunami. It's like you're looking out on the beach, and all of a sudden you hit a certain age group, and they know nothing about it. And you look at the other grade group, and there's their whole world. And it's probably like 5-6 years out because they don't have any money. It doesn't matter. At a certain age, you're not affecting the market. You don't have a job. You don't have any other than birthday money. But that's also one of those contributing factors. Roblox makes so much money.
It's a huge thing.
And they have. No one's talking about this, but Roblox has the birthday money. Roblox has all these kids' birthday money. They're not asking for Steam cash. They're not asking, oh, mommy, daddy, and I want a Pokemon cake, and can you give me some Roblox cash? And you take all the kids everywhere, you add up all that, and it's a lot of Roblox cash. And then, the kid doesn't know how to spend money, let alone 600 points of Roblox. What does that currency even mean? Yeah. So they're buying all this stuff. That's why there's so much money in Roblox right now.
Yep.
I don't think there's any good games out there, but it's hard to not think about it.
I think I have one of the editions over there. It's a book called The Metaverse by Matthew Ball, and it describes like what the metaverse could be, how far in the future, maybe, what technologies it'll take to actually build it. And one of the chapters he talks about, I forget what the term is, but it's like it's a system like Minecraft or Roblox, or I don't know if you remember Second Life back in the day.
Yeah.
It's a system where people build stuff inside of it, like in-game. And that's how, like Roblox, there's millions of games, I guess, inside Roblox that people build, and they make money off of them. And he said things like Fortnite and Roblox are like the closest things right now to these virtual worlds that come closest to being like what the metaverse might be in the future because of the nature of how they operate. And I found that amazing. That's why let me go check out this Roblox, because
the meta is a lot of things are jumping on that bandwagon. I guess Magic the Gathering cards.
Yeah.
Again, I used to play back in the day.
I used to play that.
Back in the day. Apparently, it's still going on. I believe, don't quote me on the exact time, I think a couple of years ago, I think they started jumping on the meta bandwagon. Okay. So I guess they have Avatar Magic the Gathering cards. They have, Fallout Magic the Gathering cards, or
like actual cards, or are they like virtual now?
No card. Well, both. Why not? Right? Money's money. Right? They have both, right? I know some people have thousands and thousands of Magic the Gathering online cards.
Yeah.
And they have different values, but they're still pretty high values. You can actually trade online cards. It's not like you own them and has an ID with them, I believe. So like you own them in the digital sense
too.
Are
they like non-fungible?
I don't think they're like NFTs
Magic
in that
cards.
regard. It's all set in the Magic Gathering system there. But as far as with the meta universe, they're cashing out pretty hard with the meta universe. So it's a matter of negotiating with the IPs.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. There's a Nickelodeon Smash Brothers game, I think, out there. I forget what it's called. But, that has a lot of like Nickelodeon characters in it, so they have a lot of like IP in that regard. And I know just Smash Brothers itself is kind of metaverse, where it has You can be Mario, you can be Metroid, the Samus person. They can fight each other. You can be the Final Fantasy guy.
Yeah.
So metagames are interesting. I've never made any metagames. I'm worried about having certain lawsuit issues myself. That would be interesting.
I don't know, but yeah, I'm looking into Roblox at some point when I have time.
Yeah, all the games
I gotta find out what it's all about.
I keep telling everyone, out there, it's a gigantic tsunami, and you probably want to be ready for it when it hits. But all the games are free, and my problem is, if you want to be as successful as say someone who pays the bills with it, and there are people that pay the bills with Roblox money. You currently, and it's probably going to change, but at least currently, you're after the little kid's birthday money. Keep that in mind. So, if little Jimmy wants a cool-looking red balloon, he's going to spend a lot of money on that. So, you want to make, and gambling techniques should probably be legal. I think they are illegal, especially to minors. Yeah. That's a whole other ethical, moral debate. But that's where all these millions of dollars in Roblox are coming from. So to be successful, you got to be dipping your toes in that dark art stuff. So that's another debate, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not in this, to make millions.
Yeah.
I want to get stuff out there that's fun and people enjoy. And, hopefully make enough to make the business viable.
That's all I have something to pay the bills. This would be a fun hobby. I want it to, the more money I get, the more assets I can purchase. Maybe I can hire an artist for actual decent art.
Yeah.
But Roblox, there's some fun aspects there, but the only way to get the money out of the kids is to kind of swindle them, get them to do the fast track. You can grind at this, or you can just fast track and get the big sword now.
Yeah.
So it's all that kind of mindset, which I don't really feel too good about that stuff. But
yeah. I remember back when I used to play World of Warcraft, and then people started selling accounts, and
it's just,
there was all the gold farmers and stuff. And it's like, come on, you're ruining it.
Yeah. And honestly, the video gaming is kind of weird. It's always had that little dark side, right? Like I said, I've grown up playing with arcade games, right? I remember when I first experienced playing this racing game as a kid. I was sitting down, put some quarters in, and I remember, playing Street Fighter. It was like, oh, it's skill. I lost, and now I have to pay for my lack of skill. I put another quarter in to try again.
Yeah.
And then I was playing this racing game, and I did everything perfectly fine, dodged all the obstacles. I think it was like Spy Racer or something. Mm-hmm. And then my car ran out of gas. I'm like, you're like a crazy super spy in the future. You have a car that shoots missiles, and you didn't put enough gas in the tank to get to your goal. Like, what is with you, man? Like you didn't plan ahead. You loaded the rocket launcher, but you didn't load the gas tank, and that set me off. Or cruising USA, it's like, oh, you couldn't finish the line because you ran out of your gas. Like you're in a race. Yeah. Fill up the gas tank. So pay to win's always been there. I think the AAA industry is also suffering from not knowing how to get the money from people. There is that giant wall of the $60 wall that's been crumbling for a while now.
I don't know. Something I see about the AAA industry is that they're spending so much on these games that they can't make it back. And it's like, maybe don't spend that much on focus on the fun.
Movies too. And it's,
a lot
of
it's I don't know if everyone expects these things to be super set my GPU on fire graphics.
Yeah.
But you don't need that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Look at the game like Brotato or something. It's a little circle dude running around. I like I don't know if you saw on the internet, I don't know if it was Twitter's or Blue Sky, whatever you call it, but the conversation between Slay the Spire 2 and what was it? It was some other game that got released. Oh, was it Anthem, I want to say?
I don't know.
I think it was Anthem. So one was they spent $300 million, and then Slay the Spire 2 has 10 people, on their staff, and that they made way more money and way more successful, So it isn't about how much money you spend. Obviously, it can help, and there is a lot of room for indie developers to make a lot of money, even on a competitive level. If I made $100 million, that would definitely change my life for sure. Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of crazy out there.
There was a game that someone made. I can't remember what it was called. It was kind of like a like a Harvest Moon type game.
Oh, Stardew Valley?
Stardew Valley.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of these crazy indie dev success stories, out. There's a whole bunch of them. And I think it's gotten to the point now where like one a week comes out. And if you're really watching the scene a lot, one a week will come out, whether it's there was a slot. There was a card game a little while ago. It was just like another take on solitaire. Wow. Real basic one, and that took off crazy. You
never know what's going to take off. So it's like
the Vampire Survivors stories, all that.
I still haven't played that. Is that?
I mean,
I heard that you don't do much when you play it. I don't know.
So it's a survivors game. So you play one of them, you kind of play them all. I'm waiting for more twist, more uniqueness on it. They're fun if you get into it, but if you play one, you've played them all. But it's okay.
Roguelike.
Yeah, everything's roguelike nowadays, Yeah, it is important for indie developers to play a lot of games, I think. I know it's interesting how I found that a lot of indie developers don't play games, but it is important to find the time.
Just like authors need to read a lot.
Yeah.
It's like...
Because you need to be up to date on these mechanics and things.
And I don't have much time to play games anymore. But I want to get back to it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I have played a lot of games in my life, so I draw on that. But then I hear about
I'm making Atari games.
I hear about stuff like Fortnite and Roblox and PUBG, and I'm like, I haven't played any of these. Should I at least see what these are about?
That's what
I did try a little bit of PUBG, and coming from Call of Duty, like the old Call of Duties, I was like, oh, I do not like this.
Yeah, I've never really been a fan. Like I used to play the original back in SUNY Polytech. I used to love it. All the dorms back in the day, they used to just be hubs.
Okay.
Not switches, not firewalls, just hubs.
Just hubs.
If anyone from a cybersecurity perspective knows what that means, it's bad. But,
I had a hub back in the day.
Yeah, but all the dorm closets, they had 24-port hubs in them.
Wow.
So all the kids had basically direct access to everybody else's laptops and learning that. But anyway, it was great for playing LAN games though. Yeah. So everyone was on the same LAN. So I played Call of Duty, like the first one, Medal of Honor, those kind of things. And that was a lot of fun. Quake, Arena, and that kind of things. And
I probably have all those things up here.
Yeah, they're probably in the wall somewhere.
Yeah, this.
Oh, you actually have them.
So much of this.
Yeah, there you go. See?
I still play this sometimes.
I think we're at the what's the first box? Going farther back there. Is that the first one?
The first one, yeah.
That is literally the one I'm talking about. That is hilarious.
Right? I think that was the first one.
Yep. That's right there.
Best of 2003.
Yeah, I think we grew up in the same time, so we're probably pulling from the same stuff here. Same school, same game.
United Offensive.
Yep.
And
was that the expansion pack for it?
I think so.
Yeah.
World at War.
So up at SUNY.
To get into the more modern thing, but
yeah.
COD2 is still one of my all-time favorite games.
Yeah. I ran around with that's back when I had CD burners, and I had burned copies, and I was throwing that all around campus.
Yeah, I got Quake up there, Max Payne, Halo.
Is that Halo for PC?
Yeah.
That one was cracked so bad.
The first Halo. That's still my favorite one.
Still
I
good.
tried the other ones, and I was like,
not as good.
It's just not. Give me the old one.
Yeah. There's something about being either run over by the Jeep or shooting the Jeep.
Yeah, I played hours and hours in that game.
Yeah. No, I played that with my I have a 9-year-old son. And my wife wasn't a fan of it, but anything with shooting in it, whatever. Why does he know about a machine gun? And why does he know about rocket launchers? He's still learning, whatever. But if you have a kid or at all, they love killing their dad. So he was driving a Jeep. I don't know how he learned how to drive the Warthog, but he learned how to drive the Warthog, and him running me over with it gave him so much joy. It's like, Daddy, what's that map? Blood Gulch.
Yeah.
He just loved running me over. There's something about that.
I want to play that game. I really want to get an old Windows PC, like an old Gateway or something.
People want new ones again.
With
both ends,
with what is it? A Voodoo card in it.
Oh yeah.
Sound Blaster and the mouse with the ball.
All-in Wonder cards.
I want all of that to go with my retro collection, and then I'm just gonna play all these old games directly on the computer. I know there are a lot of them you can get on Steam. I played, there's a stack over there. I've got all the Tomb Raiders.
Oh, yeah. There's a new collection they put on Steam, actually.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay, yeah.
A few years ago, and I was like, this is cool. I'm going to play, the original Tomb Raider, right? So I loaded up, and I'm like, the mouse isn't working. I'm like, how do you move the character? And I was like, wait a minute, arrow keys. You don't use a mouse for this game. It had been so long. I was like, I forgot that you don't use a mouse for it. And I was like, wow, how did I play this back in the day?
There was a lot of games. I had an IBM 486. And I think that's one where I learned a lot of technical skills.
Yeah.
I guess. And I learned a lot of, my dad would go to yard sales and buy big boxes of floppy disk, 5.5s. Here you go, Rich. They said there were some games in here, and I would just throw it in A drive, DIR. Okay. I was probably like 6 or 7 or whatever. I should not have been playing with a computer. And I remember there was I always called it a Mrs. DOS book. Mrs. DOS. And I was reading that thing over. I did not know. I should have been learning something else, but
I've got the first thing I programmed on was Apple II.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So I've got the programming reference books.
Yeah.
From back then.
Yeah, pretty much same thing. You wouldn't hand this to a 9-year-old or a 6-year-old and go, here you go,
And then one of the first games on the Apple II I played was this.
Okay, I don't remember that.
The 5 1/4.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Put in the old A drive and.
But basically, it's like survival. Like you crashed a plane and you have to survive out there.
Was there any graphics or was it just
it was
text?
Graphics. It was kind of the evolution of the text-based only, and they added some graphics, and it would render wherever you were looking, but it took like a while to render each screen. You would put your command in, run east, right? And it's like a bear has blocked your path, right? And it's like, all right, so now I got to wait for the bear to draw. You know what I mean? So it literally went line by line, and then it was like, oh yeah, there's a bear.
You're trying to figure out what it is. Is it an eagle? Is it
run away? It's like you didn't survive, and then it would have to draw the.
You hit the wrong letter. Well, I remember playing Zork like that.
Yeah.
If you spelled something wrong,
go east.
Go
north.
Go east. Northith. There is a Northith. Oh no, I meant north. Oh no. The orc hits you again. Dang it.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
We actually tried when I was at SUNY IT back then.
I think SUNY IT is still. I think.
SUNY Poly now.
Yeah.
But a bunch of us were going to make a MUD and, multi-user dungeon, I think that's what it was. All text-based and stuff, but none of us knew what we were doing at the time, so it kind of fell apart. But
yeah. So I think, me personally, I like 16-bit style. I like 16-bit art, and apparently I don't know how they're related. I'm sure there's a technical reason why, but I like 16-bit sound. But so I know with the art, the graphics is a certain set palette. So I'm assuming that's like 256 colors.
I think
about. So. And I think as far as it relates to audio, I don't know the frequency range or the bit rate that I'm assuming that something technical there. But sometimes I think that's peak, And I think anything else too much more than that is too much. And I don't like 8-bit or I think chiptune.
Chiptune.
To me, that kind of grinds a little bit. I can't play it for too long. Yeah, I think the 16-bit art. So you get stuff like the Mega Man games and a lot of stuff like that. And there's even a lot of newer games still coming out from. There was a Power Rangers game that got made out a little while ago. There's even a Marvel game that got like a 2D beat 'em up game that came out. There's a He-Man game. There's a G.I. Joe game, all like a 2D side scroller.
Yeah.
They re-released, I know, the X-Men arcade game on Steam and that kind of stuff like that. So there is definitely a huge push for that kind of art style. So
what's funny is the whole like pixel art, because like everyone loves pixel art.
Yeah.
It's like it's not exactly what it used to be. Like the pixel art back in the day on like the CRT. It was they weren't sharp edges. It was like the pixels themselves would kind of blur into each other.
Yeah.
So it's like you see the modern pixel art and you're like, yeah, that's not what we remember. You know what I mean? Like it's a cool aesthetic, but it's not.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not what it used to be.
Yeah. No, it's definitely there's good and bad pixel art for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, and part of the problem that I run to a lot, I buy all these Humble Bundle assets. When you're making a game, you want it all the same style, whatever. And I always say it's like buying all these like random Lego sets from a yard sale. And you get all these. Okay, this matches this man. I'm always like fishing through it to find like, well, I have a complete set here, and usually I don't. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna fudge it anyways. But that's one issue that I have is trying to make. Do I have enough pieces to complete the set?
Right. That's always the hardest thing when you're using that stuff, and then getting them to kind of match. It's like all right, I have the UI components from this one set, and then and sometimes they'll say, oh, this is a complete game kit. Is it really? Because almost never. No. And I buy a lot of these sets, and I can tell you, they say, buy this pack. It includes all the things you need for this game. No, it's not. Did you ever try finding good like parallax backgrounds for 2D stuff?
Oh, yeah. I have tons and tons of them, yeah. I mean, and you can mix and match a lot. I mean, the parallaxes can be kind of... and that's in the background, and, sometimes you can blur things, too, but... yeah. And I don't do much on the audio side, but there's a lot of tricks you can do as far as the audio, adjusting the pitch, and certain frequencies like that. Game Maker has all kinds of cool stuff you can do as far as almost like a 3D effect. If the character's next to something, it can get louder or farther away, and you can even...
in a 2D game?
Yeah, into a 2D game engine. Really.
Positional audio.
Whether you're transitioning from one room to... it's a scarier scene or a boss battle, you can even...
Yep.
So there's tricks you can do even on a simple aspect of things. So
we're definitely going to use that in Rotten Money, because I definitely want, if someone's using headphones, to hear like there's a zombie coming up from over here. Yeah. I have in my basement. It's a finished basement. I have a 7.2 speaker setup. I used to have one of those.
Yeah, I have an old. I guess it's old now. I think I have is old, but I have an Onkyo stereo. It's got speakers everywhere. Yeah. So I love it when movies utilize the fact that you have surround sound, and whether it's the streaming service or not utilizing it, but most voice comes out the center channel. And I'm not an audiophile, but most voice and dialogue comes out the center channel. And then, you have your left and right channel, which are probably the most important speakers. If you can only afford two speakers, get the left and right and maybe the center, But then the side and the back speakers, when they get utilized, oh, it's great. You love it. Something's behind you, you turn around, you freak out.
I don't know if it was Doom back in the day, like Doom 3, I think it was. I think that's the one.
Was this one that jumped out at you a lot? Jump scares?
I played that with my full, 7.1 system in the dark. You know what I mean? Like, my friend was like, "Oh, you can't play. Don't play it in the dark." I'm like, "That's how I'm playing it."
I think it was either that one or Doom 64.
I was like, I turned around because something was behind me. And I was like, "Oh, it's in the game." Okay, never mind.
Yeah. It was either that one or Doom 64 was.
Yeah.
It constantly kept doing jump scares, and I couldn't do it. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Like, my heart is not going to make it. Yeah. I can't get, like, every 2 minutes, like, stop it. Like,
you load the game up, and you're like, this will be fine. I can handle this. And then it happens, and you're like, what the?
And no matter what, like, you see a hallway, like, okay, it's going to come out at me, I know, and then it does it. It's scared. Okay, I knew that was happening. Why am I scared?
Yeah. They're good at that, those games.
Yeah. Yeah, picking genres can be a whole thing too. Like, from what I hear, horror games are very popular now. I'm not into them myself, so it's when you're making a game. Again, from an indie perspective, I kind of suffer from this a lot. I have to make a game that I will play and like, because, again, I'm not pulling from a financial bucket. No one's paying me. Yeah. There's no financial win here. I mean, I don't know how that path works yet. I'm still figuring that out. So for me, it's about this energy bucket, and if I like the game and I like sharing the game, it's going to have a bigger bucket. It's my idea. But yeah, there's games out there in concepts, horror games, puzzle games, that other people might like, farming games that I might not be into, that are definitely more successful to produce. So you have to kind of heads up on that as well, which is hard. So I don't know how.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely make stuff that I would play.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Hopefully other people would too. So I try to, when we do our design and everything, I try to, I try to be like, let's make sure we design this so that, like, not just one person, me, is going to like it. You know what I mean?
There's been a lot of weird success stories. I remember like Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah.
The Wii exercise board, Sims. there's been so many cases where there's been games. Like you have your, I don't know what percentage of the community of say Americans or wherever, or even in the world, that play games. It's a small percentage, right?
Mm-hmm.
That actually will even think about your game. And then all of a sudden you make an exercise product, and suddenly hospitals are buying gaming consoles.
Yeah.
And so like I can't imagine a game designer going, oh, I'm going to make this hardware, this video game for non-video gamers. So somehow they did that. And I think maybe it's like a weird, there's a sexist barrier. A lot of IT people will typically be males. I know it's changed a lot in the years, which is a good thing. But because of that, you also get certain barriers too, where there's a lot of emotional games, I think, because of that. And so I think The Sims came out of there, where you get to play like a family role and that kind of thing. And that's why that game was so successful. I remember. Do you remember when The Sims came out?
Yeah.
You could customize your house, customize the furniture, your decorating, and that was something that no one planned. It came out of nowhere, and then you had tons of people going, "Oh, I want to play games all of a sudden." And I'm like a gamer, like, "Oh, what Call of Duty do you want to play?" And they're like, "No, I don't want to shoot anything. I want to customize my living room." So, yeah. So yeah,
when the Sims stuff came out, my sister got really big into that.
Yeah, and it's people that aren't gamers.
We all played, Mario back in the day, and some of the Nintendo games, but she didn't seem like really like a huge gamer. But then Sims came out, and she had every expansion, every.
So there's weird, like if you're an indie developer, there's whole entire buckets and genres that no one's thinking about.
Yep.
So there's definitely like amazing, like if you can pick up a diverse team, whether it's someone who's, just thinks entirely different than you, they might have an idea or their own passion bucket idea, and you might go, well, I don't know, maybe, but there's a whole group of people that aren't being, I don't say represented, but they might not be consistent gamers, but they might throw money at your project and that kind of thing. So it's a real thing, I would have never have guessed hospitals buying Wii exercise boards, and how successful that was,
Yep. There's a lot of stuff that no one can really predict,
Yeah.
That just happens.
How to catch that lightning in the bottle, but...
yeah. Well, I hope our concept, people will like it.
Yeah.
Zombies and mafia.
Yeah.
Our 3D artist actually does a lot of narrative stuff, too, and she... we had kind of a kernel of a story, and she expanded on that greatly. So,
good.
Once you see the full storyline, everything, she had a big hand in that.
Yeah, I like a little bit of story in there. It's got to have, something to kind of pull you through it. And
yeah,
I was wondering, because of my back, like I grew up kind of in the '80s, and I had the He-Man, the G.I. Joes, and
how old are you?
Oh,
if you don't mind me asking.
43, I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm 46.
Yeah, so you grew up same kind of time.
Close.
Yeah. Do you remember like Exo Squads, Exo Suits or whatever it was?
I remember that now.
Yeah, it was Conan, just things running around, either shooting laser guns at each other, something blowing up, Star Wars, And I'm wondering okay, Bots Master. There's a Mega Man TV show, like all these things. Laser guns are always flying everywhere. Everything's blowing, and that was cool, right? And so I think my son, he has a different experience, and usually more emotional connections. And to me, fun is laser guns and explosions.
Yeah.
You're play the game Contra. You're just shooting a machine gun nonstop. You're just blowing. You're not asking questions. A guy pops out of the window, get him before he gets you. You don't ask questions. So, it is hard for me sometimes to realize that other people didn't grow up with that background of destruction, And so, I think in Roblox, there is a certain, communicational aspect with weapons, guns, they're ranged, so your character is shooting that character, so, there's almost shooters almost have a built-in puzzle mechanic, if you can think of you are shooting them, so you got them, almost like a tag. Tag is guns are almost like I got you first kind of thing. So a mechanic like that. So a lot of people play Roblox, and a lot of times they have guns in Roblox almost to fulfill that gaming mechanic of guns are there just to get the other person, not so much to kill them. No one's thinking killing and violence.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, whether the game's using spells or other mechanics like that, or you're playing as a dinosaur and you're eating someone else. It's not the violent aspect of it. It's just like the game mechanic, which is interesting. But yeah, I have a hard time pulling away from, like, I like things shooting and exploding. You know, so that's just me. And again, I have to pull from that bucket of what I like.
Right.
So that's tricky for me. But
and it's, you know, it's the foundation of, like, what you know, what you experienced, you know, in the past. So
yeah.
like,
you can't really change that, I guess. You can't fix trauma, right? Yeah.
So.
Oh, and another interesting, from an indie dev perspective, I think in the last, I'll say like 8 years, maybe more at this point. I think I'm worried about hardware being accessible. So going back maybe 10, 15 years, maybe things are a little bit better. You had different PlayStation 3, 4, or whatever. And PCs have always been kind of on the expensive side, I think it's for gamers, right? If I'm going to make a video game as an indie developer, what platform are people playing it on? You know, and you kind of realize that people may only have smartphones. So if I want to make a game, it has to be on a smartphone, basically. So that's one thing I'm a little worried about. You know, where are my gamers at? You know, where are they playing? So
then there's the Steam Deck.
Yeah,
and there's some other thing, ROG.
The ROG,
has a similar thing. I was looking at those and I was like, I don't know. I might as well just get a gaming laptop. Yeah, I wanted something portable. I have a gaming PC, but I used the GPU. I put it in my server, my dev server, because I'm using it for some other experimentation stuff. So then I'm like, all right, do I get a better GPU and put it in my desktop machine, or do I just get, you know, a portable thing? And someone was telling me, oh, you should get a Steam Deck or one of those things. And I'm like, I don't really like console, like, you know, the newer consoles. I like, you know, if I'm going to play a console, it's going to be like the NES or something. Yeah, which makes me sound really old. But, like, I'm not buying a new Xbox. I've never bought a PlayStation. I have a PlayStation 2 over there, but from years ago. But, like, I'm not going to buy a new console. I'm just not going to do it. And I was almost going to get one of these portable, you know, Steam Deck things. And I was like, for a little bit more, I should just get, like, an Alienware. Well, probably more than a little more. But you know what I mean? I was like, now I have a thing that I can bring anywhere. It runs anything. Yeah. And,
I picked up a Steam Deck. I was a pretty early adopter of it. I love it.
They're cool. I
love it a lot. So it's, if you're sitting down, like, and it allows you to play your Steam games wherever you go, basically. Yeah. So and it does have a Linux desktop and all that. And I do play it a lot docked too.
Okay.
So it docks very easily. Just you plug in one USB-C cable, charges it.
And then you use keyboard and mouse?
Yeah, keyboard and mouse. I played it on a 4K screen. Okay. So it cuts the corners beautifully. So the native resolution is 1200 something, which isn't even 1900. You know, so my phone is 1900 resolution or whatever. So, but it has this. When it runs everything at 44 frames or something, which is like way under like the 60 or something like that is. Yeah. But it's just it cuts the corners beautifully well. Like you really don't care anything after 44 anyways. But you care about stuff below that, you know. So like stuff like that, it cuts the corners beautifully, and
just enough to make it, you know.
Yeah, and it's powerful enough for most games. You know, it can play. I believe it can play Cyberpunk and
Arc Raiders.
Yeah, Arc Raiders. Yeah, so I play a lot of Helldivers on it. You know, there was a patch came out, and my graphics card didn't work for a while on my, so I couldn't play my big desktop. I couldn't play it.
Yeah.
I wanted to play with my friends real badly, so I hooked up my. I had a KVM, which allows you to switch, you know, controls or whatever. So I had wires flying everywhere. But I had so my Steam Deck was I hit a button, boop, and then literally my entire display would same keyboard, same mouse, same monitor would be my Steam Deck.
Wow.
And there was like no difference. The graphics and the shading were a little bit different, but you know, its performance was fine. So like I'm fine. My Steam Deck's over here, going, you know, doing everything. But there is I do think Valve is saving the day with the Steam Cube coming out. I don't think you can get the Steam Deck anymore. They ran out. They sold out, and because of the chip crisis, they aren't increasing the price.
Yeah.
They're not big enough to jack up the price enough to compete with these other companies. So they're not bothering. They don't want to sell you the Steam Deck for $1,000. That's
Right.
kind of out of the spirit of it. But the Steam Cube, they're trying to compete. So I'm hoping that like the Steam Cube will then bring gaming back, and I'm hoping it's at an affordable price.
Yeah.
You know, that's everyone's wondering. I know Valve is trying to get the price. They probably want to say $1,000, but then people can go, well, then I'm just going to buy whatever.
laptop,
Yeah. So, and Valve wants to make money on the device, which is understandable.
Yep.
So most of these consoles are subsidized. You know, you look at the Meta headset, and that's super subsidized and all that. So, you know, they don't want to do that, which they could, which would be nice. But yeah, I'm hoping that really saves gaming, and it's been a dry spot for a while. Everyone's kind of dying on hardware for like 7 or 8 years, and after it gets to 10, 12 years, gaming is going to be kind of in trouble. It's going to be kind of like a high-end luxury that no one really talks about anymore. So, you know, as an indie developer, I think no one's really talking about this, and I think it's getting scary. We're like, we've been in a hardware shortage for a while now, so it's yeah. And NVIDIA and AMD, they're not really competing. So NVIDIA, I think, has like something like 95% of the market share. That's not competition anymore.
And they're big in AI too.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's where they're making all their money, or their investments in AI. They don't think anybody makes any money in AI. They make the money on in the concept of AI.
Yeah.
Let's just say that what it is. But they make a lot of money on the concept of AI.
Yeah.
So that's where that is. So whether it's AMD and ATI or whatever you want to call them, yeah, I don't know. So hardware is definitely, you know, I don't dabble much in the hardware as far as, you know, but it's worth talking about from an indie game developer. Yeah.
I mean, a bonus of me getting the laptop is I use that for cons now too. Like that's I just hook a monitor up to it, and that'll run anything. So
yeah. The when I go to conventions, I have I have 2 gaming laptops. I know, again, they're both pretty old. They're old and older.
Yeah.
And I like to bring a big LCD screen, and I clone the display. Mm-hmm. And it's important to watch. You know, I can watch them play it, and I can see what they're doing, kind of thing. And I even bring. I think you saw the setup I have where I have 2 mouses and 2 keyboards.
Yeah.
So you know, I can control the mouse in case.
You can, yeah.
Yeah. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I think for one of my conventions, I even brought a projector. I had that for a while. I thought it was pretty cool, and it was because you know everyone has like the little screens or laptops. Some people brought Steam Decks to these conventions, which were interesting. Like a couple of them, they had people play on them.
Yeah.
But I had a big projector one time, a little tiny. Like you can buy projectors now as low as $30, which is incredible.
They used to be very expensive, I remember.
Yeah, and you can spend as much as you want on it. You can spend as much money as you have on that. But you can get the bottom is impressive. Obviously, there's quality issues everywhere. I find that there's around $100 for a portable projector. And I can talk about projectors if you want, but around $100 is probably where it's a decent projector.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, you can get a $100 screen that folds out. You can get a $50 or $100 projector and bring that to conventions. The only problem is that there's a lot of office lights that kind of beat up these projectors as far as you get what do you call it, the washout or whatever.
I usually bring my office that screen right there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, a big banner or something like that, or
yeah.
But
my monitor, I just bring that
yeah.
Hook it up to the laptop and
it's going to these shows. It's you do bring a lot of stuff. I have all these bags and materials and whatever.
Yeah. Looking forward to the Lake George summer thing.
Yeah. The Lake George one should be a lot of fun. I am doing a speaking event over there.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Just getting started into the gaming. You know how to get started. So your first projects, that kind of thing, and spoiler, I'll be talking about how to make basic 2D games, start there, make your first dozen games, start to finish, copy something you love, download. There's a lot of resources you can download for free. I like, what is it, Spriter's Resources or something like that. It's a website. I forget.
Spider?
Spriter. Yeah, so there's a bunch of them out there where you just Google Mega Man Sprite.
Yeah. Sprite
Sheets. So Sprite Sheets, at least in the 2D world, it's a single picture, usually PNG if you can, or a JPEG, of all the images or animations of a character or art or whatever.
Yep.
And so it'll, it'd be like Mega Man doing this or whatever, and you can paste that together, and that's how you get animation, like a flipbook kind of thing. So you download these sprite sheets off from your favorite game or whatever, like I grew up playing Golden Axe and other 2D beat 'em up games.
Oh, yeah.
And
I have that somewhere.
I do have it in this room. But yeah, you can download these sprites from these older games. People will rip them, is what they call it, and you can turn off certain layers in these older games, and then you can grab the sprites, just screenshot it or whatever. Anyways, that's a good place to start for people. Just use your favorite game that you used to play, and then make it do something you should, and have Mega Man fight Mario or something. Make your own Smash Bros. But 2D, and that's a good way to learn. Is what I tell people.
Yep. One of these days, I wanna just make my own version of Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Just cause
I made somebody wanted to make a horror game. And what they were describing was basically like Pac-Man. I was like, so then for a game jam, I made a horror version of Pac-Man.
Nice.
And I did for 4 hours. Like for 4 hours, I'm going to humor you, and I'll make a Pac-Man game. And it was, I made a Pac-Man game in 4 hours, and the horror aspect was you were Mega Man. You were actually eating these people, because it was Pac-Man, you had teeth. So you would eat them. And I did a game jam, and I was streaming it, and people were yelling at me saying, well, you got to make the ghost, all the AI's got to be different. Like I don't know if you were a true Pac-Man fan. I hope no one is, but they're out there, and they'll tell you great detail about the different personalities the Pac-Man ghosts have. I didn't know this, but if you don't make the pink one act funny, apparently. So I don't know, like one of them like always knows where you are and is chasing you. One of them is just making random decisions.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure they do have different strategies.
Yeah. So which makes it interesting, because at the core concept of Pac-Man, it's kind of like a maze. It's more like the AI is trying to solve the maze. Mm-hmm. And you're not really solving the maze. You look at it, it's not blocked off enough where it's hard, but the AI is trying to get to you. Right. So in that regard, it's trying to make AI decisions and whatever. So so in 4 hours I made Pac-Man or something that resembled it, and I made 4 different types of AI that it was basically bad, worse, and worstest. As far as AIs, and they would all get to you or want to get to you, except for the pink one. That one was you don't talk about the pink one, but
I definitely want to do more game jams. That's fun. Yeah,
game jams are a good place to. I don't want to say not to start. Some people want to start there, but and again, do a bunch of tutorials, but you don't want to get stuck in tutorial hack or whatever forever. Right. That is a real thing. After a while, you have to make your own. I'd say jump into your own passion project. Mm-hmm. Think of some crazy idea. Download the art, so you're not worried about the art. Focus on getting the programming skills. Yeah, and then then work from there. But yeah.
It's one of the best ways to learn is just jump into it.
You really have to, yeah. You can Google so much stuff.
Get enough so you know the basics, and then try it out.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny because programming is like the first hurdle, I guess. But once you figure it out, and you just work with what you can, and work from there. Of course, there's going to be bugs and glitches as you go, and everybody's going to figure that comma or that one spot or something. One of the problems with Game Maker is that it's very a little too forgiving. So I'll code like literally hundreds and hundreds of lines of code and not test anything. Yeah. And occasionally I get a hole in one, which is great. Oh man, I haven't hit run in a while. I wonder if any of this works. Yeah. Oh my god, that does. Yeah, wow. But then sometimes that's really off. Where was I off by? And the ones that get me stuck are when there's obviously no syntax issue. Syntax, like the compiler catches it. GameMaker itself, unlike Python or other ones, GameMaker is really good. The error messages are really good. And like Java, how a Java error will do like a big dump of all these libraries. Yeah. And I don't remember importing all these. Well, you did. There's nested libraries of whatever.
It's like, okay, where's the actual thing that I did? Yeah. Oh, right here. Okay.
Yeah. Like I imported one library. I didn't know it had 50 others built into it. The GameMaker is really good about, okay, well, inside this object, inside this, and this exact, literally almost always like the little line that says, I don't know what's going on, but this line of code is where I had the issue.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Which is from a developer. Oh, like, okay, well, that's why.
Godot is pretty good. I don't know if you've done any Godot.
I haven't done it. I think if I were to start things over again, I'd probably want to jump into Godot because I like the licensing concept.
Yeah.
It has a really bright future.
The language
I think, too.
feels similar to like Python.
Yeah.
Which
does it compile a little bit better? Is it a little bit nicer?
In certain aspects I like, other aspects I don't. I like strongly typed things. So in Godot you can do either way. You can define the type, in GDScript, or you can just kind of the first time I assign something to this, that's what it is. Which is a mess when you're trying to maintain code. You're like, but what is this thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I don't know how GameMaker just figures out what the type I'm doing. Yeah.
But the error messages are very good usually in Godot.
Oh, good.
And it'll just be like, hey, I tried to set this thing on a thing that's null. And you're like, okay, now we know that this thing was never set. So let me go find where it was used.
Yeah.
But the thing that does trip you up, and I don't know what other languages do this, but you could have, like you said, hundreds of lines of code that you wrote, right? The editor doesn't say anything's wrong because the syntax is right. You run it, unless you hit that specific part, it's like everything's fine until you hit this thing and it's like, oh yeah, this thing's null. And it's like, only if I, say you're in a game and it only happens when you open a specific door, right?
Yeah.
Like the room behind it was null or something. You know what I mean? So you may never find that bug until you actually go in that room.
And then one of the causes of that, I guess, is in the pain point. Anyone who makes a decent sized game, it's a pain point for anyone, really. I don't know. There's certain ways you can try to avoid it, but it's there. Yeah. So, when you're testing the game, and if it's you, yourself, and I, right? or me, myself, and I, one person making it, you're the big tester too, and you're going to play the game you're making the same way more or less every time, and and when you run the game, you're starting from the beginning of the game, and say you're designing the end of the game, right? Yeah. Say it's a long platformer level you're making, and you want to test this one mechanic at the end. See if that one elevator at the end of the level is working. Well, how do you test that? Yeah. You have to play the game, go over the entire level. Say you want to make sure the ending cutscene of the game is running. Yeah. You have to play the game, beat the boss. Oh, it didn't quite load right. Okay, no, play it again, tweak it. So one of the tricks that I came up with as a independent, just me, myself, and I testing things, I always like to do sandbox modes. Mm-hmm. I have in a couple of games, my jet fighting game, my pirate game, and a little bit of my railgun game I even did. Just a sandbox mode where basically, even in the, I did the game called ROH, where it's a strategy game basically, if you will. Sandbox modes are so helpful. Yeah. From people like to test them, like a tutorial almost. They can jump right in, there's no rules really, but the units will fight or the same mechanics or controls are there, but the main flow of the game isn't there, of course. It's just like you throw things in and they fight each other. So from a testing perspective, you can just have a blank room. Okay, click and drag. There's the boss. There's the player. And the boss has an AI. If you program the boss, or the boss is like, well, I attacked the AI. I attacked the player. So then you can fight the boss. And then, it allows you to quickly iterate, I guess, certain testing. Yeah. So certain AI types or certain situations. So programming a sandbox is nice. And then at the final product, people seem to like sandboxes either as almost like a tutorial too. Mm-hmm. I find so. Yeah.
Yeah, you end up putting like debug flags in, or it's
like,
all right, turn all money on. So when I get to this thing, I can actually buy the thing without having to play through like 9 levels,
Yeah, absolutely. I remember playing games like growing up, I played Slim City. And one of my favorite modes in Slim City was like infinite money, you know? Yep. And so you just build whatever, then you put the dinosaur, and the dinosaur destroys the city. But like to me, and my son, he likes the sandbox modes a lot where he doesn't like rules. So it's like, this is, I'm designing the experience, This is the start, middle, and an end. But he doesn't like that. He just likes to jump right in, straight to the destruction, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it helps from a dev perspective. I definitely recommend sandboxes where you can.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Sandboxes, debug modes,
Yeah.
where it's like, all right, make me invincible so I can get through this thing and test this one thing, It's like,
I'm not,
and then turn invincibility off, like have it bound to a key. I've done that before.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, invincible until I get over here. Now I'm going to try this boss. So turn that off.
I am not great at that. And like I'll say like on paper, I have a global variable called debug, and I'll have that as a flag. Okay, I'll try to use it. One spot I'll set it true or false, and the whole game will be in debug mode. I'll have in the draw phase, all the characters' stats will be everywhere. You can see all the numbers, what it's thinking. Literally the AI will have a text going, this is what I'm thinking right now, and it's looking around. So I know what the AI is thinking, not just staring at me, not doing anything, But yeah, I'll have, if I push this letter, and I'll call it production releases.
Yeah.
I left the push the letter button in there, I had it.
And people wonder how like all these cheat codes get into games.
Yeah.
It was probably just developers going, I need a thing that spawns a zombie anywhere I want it to test it, and then it's like, oh, if you enter these specific things, you spawn this thing.
No, I have a funny story. So are you familiar with the game Plants vs. Zombies?
I think I played it a long time ago, but I don't remember exactly.
Well, it's a pretty popular game. It's pretty big. It's at its core, it's tower defense.
Okay.
And the first game came out as well with the PopCap games, almost with Flash stuff, whatever. It was hugely popular. It actually played great on the iPad. This is back when like mobile phones were actually good. Like you wouldn't mind spending like $5. You play the demo, then you pay $5 and you enjoyed the mobile game.
Yeah.
Before the whole mobile game thing got toxic, honestly. But anyways, Plants vs. Zombies 1 was a great game. Little zombies moving across. You put little plants, and the pea shooters would get them. And it was pretty, and the zombies' head would pop off, and it was kind of cutesy, like cartoon graphics kind of thing.
Yeah.
They made Plants vs. Zombies 2, and then, of course, there's Garden Warfare, and occasionally there's Neighborville. So there's just EA now has the license, which is not great. But it's not dead. They're still making it. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Plants vs. Zombies movie coming out. Who knows?
Oh, wow.
But anyways, I made a Plants vs. Zombies knockoff game just for fun. I mean, you can download the sprites. So I did that, and I made it for my son, and I made a Plants vs. Zombies interactive thing. Rather than a tower defense, I made it so you play as a pea shooter. So now it's like you're shooting things. Anyways, I left the debug situation. You push D on the keyboard, and I meant to disable that. You push D, and that flips it into debug mode. Suddenly you're seeing things you shouldn't, which isn't too bad. But then that also enabled what I call blood mode. So you had to push D, and then it would allow you to push the letter B for blood mode. And I was working with another developer at the time just for fun, and we were just messing around. I was late, and I would just joke, hey, wouldn't it be kind of funny if the zombie heads had blood coming out of their head? Because you're popping their heads up. Wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah.
And so the blood would come off, it hit the ground, and like it pooled on the bottom. And it took 3 lines of code to do that. I was using a built-in effect. And it was okay, whatever. Here's fun kind of thing. Oh, and I made it so the heads. Normally the heads would fade away with an alpha shade, they just kind of disappear.
Yeah.
But and in the blood mode, the heads wouldn't decay; they would always be out there and bleeding. And so, but you have to go into debug mode, hit the B letter, D then B, and I forgot. But what are the odds? What are the odds of them doing that? Right? What are the odds? And of course, my kid's playing it. And I have my nephews over, and they're all jamming on the keyboard. They're having a fun time playing, shooting the zombies. Suddenly, one of them hits the D button. And go, uh-oh. And I'm like, well, what are the odds of them hitting the B button also? What are the odds? Apparently pretty well. Suddenly, they enable it, and they start screaming, ah! One of them was 5. And so I go, oh, no, this is catch-up mode. It's in catch-up mode. So it became the running joke. And I quickly went on the keyboard, and I made it so you could hit B, and immediately the blood goes away. It was just, it took 10 lines of code to do that. And I was like, no, there's no blood. And then they wanted, I want ketchup mode on. Turn ketchup mode on. I'm like, so yeah, that they even though I had hidden it in there, they found it. So watch out for debug code.
People will find stuff.
Yeah.
So, if you were to give advice to other indie devs, what would be the top thing you would?
Oh, the top
say
thing.
To them? I know we talked about a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. Yeah, I mean, I guess the top one is start and finish your games. I guess make sure and start small.
Yeah.
Start small. Don't make. I mean, it's the same as everyone else gives the same advice. I mean, I don't want to repeat that as no real value, but it's 100% true. Don't make a massive multiplayer online RPG game. Turn-based games can be very hard, believe it or not.
Yep.
Make something simple. Make your character move across the screen. Make it. It might have to be kind of boring. Like make your character just try to get to point A to point B, and it solves the puzzle. So start small and then finish it.
Yeah.
And I recommend start with 2D. I think is easier for people.
It definitely is. At least that's what my experience.
And I loved 3D stuff. I wasn't even an artist, but I was working with a lot with OpenGL, even all that kind of fun stuff, and it opens up a lot more complexity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think gamers themselves enjoy the cutesiness and it allows for more room of imagination. So you don't have to be like super awesome graphics, and then 3D. Focus on the experience and the feedback loops. Mm-hmm. That's what makes the game fun. It doesn't have to be 3D. That's not why the game is fun. So
right.
Yeah. And you have to after you make your first dozen games, if you want to make it successful, it has to be unique or some new concept. Don't just make another Survivor game. Don't make another horror game. Expect it to stand out. It has to be something different.
Yeah. Which is hard to do.
It's very hard. Yeah. Way easier said than done, for sure. Oh yeah, to make your first $1 million. Yeah. No, I have no idea. I have no idea. Good luck to you.
What's the formula?
Yeah. Oh, I figured it out. No.
Yeah. You never know what game will just take off.
Yeah. I mean, no one knows this stuff. Yeah.
Well, it was great having you on the show.
All right, yeah, great. It's great chatting with you.
Always great chatting about games and game dev.
Yeah. It's always exciting, and it's a constantly changing stuff too. And
it is.
At its minimum, like I do it mostly for hobby wise. It's good creative release. It's fun meeting people with the same mindsets, that kind of thing. I know me myself, personally. You meet a lot of similar mindsets in like high school and whatever, and in college you go to the same degrees. But after your adult life, especially, you don't meet people with the same backgrounds. But this allows you to have an interest, which allows you to meet. It's for me, joining clubs and organizations of the same mindset helps a lot too.
Yeah.
So, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.